Natalie Antonov here again with Gable Music Ventures. We're here for another interview today. With me, I have two lovely ladies. We have Kristen Levine and Paige Walter of the Cherry-Veen Zine out of Philadelphia. It is a women-run music magazine, an online blog for music. Kristen is co-founder and managing editor, and Paige is co-founder and design director. Let's get into it. Hey ladies, how you doing today?
Hi. Great. We're fantastic.
Good, good. Tell me a little bit about the Cherry-Veen Zine. How was it born? How did it get its name? What is it?
Cherry-Veen Zine started in 2016 with myself, Kristen Levine, and my roommate, Laura Cherry, which is where Cherry-Veen Zine came from.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously, when you name something after your name like that, well, I don't know if this is for everyone, but we were starting it because we just wanted to feature our friends. We'd been going to so many shows, and we just wanted to be part of the community and to do this. So, we just started Cherry-Veen Zine. Did 6 months in a row, and then burnt out. Left for 2 years, and then came back to meet the lovely Paige Walter, who really breathed life back into it. We met, and then the day we met, we moved in together, and we started working on the zine again because Paige was so excited about it. I didn't really have any interest in doing it again, but I'm so happy that Paige was there because
yeah. So it's all your fault.
Yeah, it's my fault. Yeah.
What do each of you do?
I guess as design director, I've really tried to take hold of what it looks like, what it feels like, the vibe, the aesthetic, and it's always evolving. So that's a real treat as a designer to get to play with that. And it's our zine, it's our art project. It can be whatever we want it to be. So that's like a huge freedom. So that's kind of my role. And then we both share writing responsibilities, interviewing. We curate the whole thing. So if we like your music, it's going in. And only ever positive things to say. So,
and I guess I end up doing a lot more of the organizing, a lot of making sure that we're meeting deadlines. I usually am the one that's facilitating our unprecedented sessions, which we'll probably talk about a little bit later, and like helping with organizing shows and then I also do some design as well, but I'm usually taking guidance from Paige on that.
Cool. So what sets the Cherry-Veen Zine apart as the online music blog magazine goes?
Yeah. As a blog, we're actually during COVID, we decided to shift a little bit away from just blog article after blog article, which is hard because there's not too much live content anymore. But like, I'm sure we will talk about, our unprecedented series is our way for us to continue to give back live music to the community even during COVID. But what sets us apart is not only our online presence on Instagram, but our playlists on Spotify, where you can listen to whatever we're currently loving. And of course,
based on Zodiac season,
the physical zine, the print zine.
It's
that is the most adorable thing I've ever seen.
Cute. Wait, is it weird if I stand up and show you that it fits in your back pocket?
No.
Yeah, like, look, check this. It's a women's pockets, right?
Women's pockets.
It fits in a
my god.
That is a big deal. I think that's a big deal. That was like
with you anywhere.
The main reason why we made it this size was so that you could just take it and put it in your pocket and not think about it.
I love it.
Yeah, so we're online, but this is our baby.
The print definitely sets us apart, and the fact that we used to play shows, or not play shows, host shows, and put together residencies, and that really set us apart. And we also, I think, the difference between us and maybe other music blogs is that we're really about connecting people with who they need to be connected with. So because the music scene is so much more than the musicians, it's the auxiliary music support, it's like it's Gable, it's Cherry-Veen Zine, it's the photographers, videographers, the sound engineers, all of it. Like, so if we can help artists get connected in the ways that they need to, like, we want to help in that way as well.
Absolutely. So that would be probably one of the biggest benefits of having your music as an artist on a blog like yours, is that connection, is that networking, that people don't necessarily think that that would be one of the top ways of networking. So this is kind of like an alternative way, which is really cool, actually.
If you're featured on CVZ, you're part of our network. You're part of our community, our family, and we want to do what we can to help you succeed. Whether that's connecting you to the right people to put together a project, or whether that's featuring you in one of our projects besides the zine, either a show or a live stream, or whatever it may be. The scene has so many working parts and so many beautiful people in it. So, and we're very fortunate to know a lot of them.
So basically, if you were to say, what is the main reason, would that be it, that someone would want their music featured in a blog? Would the networking be it? Or is there something else that more important?
I mean, in terms of blogs in general, to be featured on one, it's a great way of getting your music out to an audience that you may not reach on your own. And also gives you an opportunity to talk about your art if you want to, kind of explain your process, where you came from, what you want to say, what you hope people get out of it. And that's usually what we're asking about, what we want to know. So I think that's definitely a selling point as to why you would want to submit to blogs.
Right. Exposure is invaluable. Just opens you up to a different audience, and we like to think our audience is extra special because they're engaged. If we write about something, we hear all the time that people read it or listen to that band, so we know we're having that active engagement.
I love that. How does a band get involved, or what is the most appropriate way a band can get their themselves submitted for one of your several programs? And why don't you explain some of your programs while we're at it?
Yeah, so our favorite way for bands to get in touch is we have a submission form on our website, and with just some questions about the band itself, so we know who we're speaking to, how they found us, why they chose us. So some things for us, some things for the band to introduce themselves to us. I think that's the most efficient way for bands to get in touch with us and really tell their story. But we answer DMs and
bug us about it if we don't respond. Like, find us on Instagram and DM us. Like, we're not bothered by that at all. I would say for the playlists, it's cool to just shoot us a DM and be like, hey, I have this song that I'd really appreciate being featured, and then we can check that out. And then for our Unprecedented Sessions series, which is live music for unprecedented times with XPN and Power Cycle Productions, we have been reaching out to artists. We're like carefully curating that with John and Matt. So, are
there any ways people should avoid trying to contact you?
Twitter and Facebook, because we don't know how to get to our Facebook messages. And also avoid just kind of throwing, like, I would rather you go through Facebook than send me an email that doesn't have a complete sentence. And like, show me you care, even just like a little bit when you're submitting.
That's the thing too. I've been on the other side of it, where I've sent out emails as a band to blogs. So I've been on both sides of it now, and just a little personal touch is lovely. Shows interest.
Oh, adding links to the music. also is like really
if
great.
it's not out yet,
especially
and
especially it's not out yet.
we're supposed to talk about it, we need to hear it.
If a band has a song coming out or something like that, how far in advance would you guys prefer that information to be relayed to you?
I really think sweet spot 2 weeks, because it won't get lost.
Mm-hmm.
And it also gives us enough time to put something together.
Mm-hmm.
If it's a day or two ahead, you might get lucky. We might do something with it, but that's like best case scenario, 2 weeks ahead of time. Great for us.
2 weeks is great.
Take notes, people. Is that for people just in Philadelphia or in the country, or what's the scope geographically?
We take preference for bands in Philadelphia just because they're our neighbors, they're our coworkers, they're part of our community, and we're more likely to be able to help them out. They're in our neighborhood. We're closer in contact, but we do.
Delaware is basically Philadelphia in my mind. So Delaware, we cover New York bands. We cover we have covered
DC,
bands from
Chicago.
Maryland. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's good to because it also means that we can create a network of people where if touring ever happens again, if a band is talking to us from Philly and they're like, we need to fill a slot in Baltimore, like, do you know any bands that are out there that could help us set up a gig? Like, then we can reach out to that network of people.
Yeah. And the network just keeps getting bigger because sometimes Philly bands are on labels from Pittsburgh, from New York, that are, also like really great friends with these other artists in these different cities. And it does get bigger and bigger. But if you're in Philly and you're trying to make a splash here in town, we want to hear from you, but also other cities as well, of course.
Cool. And is that any particular genres or styles of music, or just everyone?
Everyone
and everything. If we like it, we'll feature it. We're not picky about genre, or we won't write you off just because. Yeah, there's no genre we don't like.
No.
Cool. Awesome.
We had Greg from Me Without You in the same zine as Hoochie Coochie. Very opposite genres, I would say.
Hoochie Coochie, by the way, for those of you who know us here at Gable Music Ventures, is Shug Daniels' band. There they are. See, they're in the zine. I love it. That's Shug Daniels. She's our lovely other YouTube sensation on our page. She's got all sorts of tips and tricks for you guys. So we love her to death. But yeah, thank you for showing us that. That's great, having that little feature there for Hoochie Coochie. Woo! We love you.
We're so proud. We love Danielle. Yeah. And we love Hoochie Coochie. So
that's awesome. Oh man. So all right. So you're obviously two music fans, or else I don't know why you would be in this general industry. But put yourself through that. How did you go about kind of carving this career for yourselves? It wasn't there for you. I mean, you guys had to work for this, right?
Yeah, we worked for it. I think that we saw an opportunity in that it was missing from the scene. And zines are they were born in music, they were born in the music scene, and so like noticing that was missing helped us carve that pathway. And then we started out doing it continuously because we loved doing it and putting out our best work, staying open to opportunities, continuing to support the scene while we're doing that, going to shows, buying merch, like shouting out artists and bands, and then being open to all these opportunities that just started like pouring in for us, which started with Kyle from Ortlieb's reaching out, asking us if we wanted to book our first residency. And then in that same night, John Batiste from XPN asking us if we wanted to come on and do a little like interview and help guest DJ, which turned into a project with him where we created these mixed tapes, like these cassette tapes, and put them all over the city. And then we've just continued to work with him in all these different ways, including the unprecedented sessions. And so,
But it was really just born out of need in the community. The Key is an excellent music blog out of XBN, and it does a lot of work of shouting bands. I think in our community, in our niche of the city, there was no one talking. There's so many people doing excellent stuff, doing just like gorgeous work and putting out music of this time, of this era, of this specific location, and no one. People were talking about it, but it wasn't in print anywhere. It wasn't documented anywhere. And that's how we kind of think about ourselves sometimes as historians or documentarians, you know. We hope and it's really cool to see bands that we've written about go on to, you know, do something spectacular, and it's like, oh, they're in the zine, huh? Oh wow. Their progress and their story has been documented, and that's a really cool feature of what we do.
That's awesome. So what have you guys as women in the music industry, have you found any obstacles or any kind of discrimination or anything like that you've gone through?
Yeah. It's hard to say. I mean, we've found with what we've been doing that we are able to stand equal with the men in the community, and it may be because we are finding men who champion women, and not really find. Well, they're finding us. I mean, we have Kyle at Orleans and John Matisse and then Matt Shank from Power Cycle Productions. Like, each of those people separately came to us to ask to work with us. So, and then it wasn't just like a vanity play, you know. It was when we came together and started working, we were still equals. Our opinions still mattered, and it was to the point where like we don't really like think about it. We don't really have to think about it too much.
Yeah, what's lovely is we work with enough just like kind and beautiful people that I don't notice that me being of like a different gender is affecting anything, and that's fantastic. And it's never like at the forefront of my mind, like, oh, you're different than someone else because you're a woman and the scene is mostly male dominated, which is, it's nice to think about. But you know, like, I think at the same time, as a woman in this community that is made up of so few women, you never know if the discrimination or the barriers you face are gender biased. You don't know, and women worry about that and men don't.
I mean, yeah. And I know we were invited to be at the Philly Music Festival this year, which was fantastic. So we were like 2 of 25 people that were allowed in an Ardmore Music Hall. And when we were there, like we realized that we were really 2 of the only women in the industry that were there, which felt really cool. But then at the same time, you think about like, wow, this is just how it is. Like, this is the norm that only 2 women of 25 industry players would be here.
So I mean, for any, you know, woman musician or woman who may be like watching, who's interested in being in the music industry, you can do it for sure. And the community needs you, the scene needs you.
Absolutely. No, and as you know, we have the Ladybug Music Festival, which Gable Music Ventures puts on every year. Our all-female music lineup. It's I think the largest female music lineup, 100% music by females that does exist at the moment, which we're very proud of. But that's why we ask these questions, because our main goal is that there still isn't that gender equity on the major lineups of those festivals. So we want to bring a full female festival. I think the number was something really low, like under 20% of the lineups had female headliners or female bands at all, that were fronted by women. So it's a very near and dear topic to our heart. So it's really cool to hear that, at least for the younger generation, you know, it's not, you don't really feel it as much as maybe past generations have felt it, which is a great thing in itself.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, for sure.
It's amazing, and we need to do everything we can to get that equalized. So I mean, way to go for being a female run magazine and online blog, by the way.
Oh,
Thank
thank
you.
you. I mean, it's funny because I guess we are technically women run, but we're a zine.
Okay, cool. All right. No, that's great. So all right, so let's change topic a little bit up to the elephant in everyone's life, which is COVID. How has that impacted CherryVeen Zine and your guys' career? What have you had to do to adjust?
A lot.
Yeah.
Long answer short.
Well, we were getting really into booking shows, and we had this residency that we had all lined up for June at Ortlieb's and the Good How Are You Music Festival in South Philly. We were co-presenting. It kind of threw off the print schedule for us too.
Yeah.
Especially around June, you know. I mean, and this is a topic that's never not going to be important. But when all the protests were happening, we're like, this isn't the time for us to release a music issue. Like, we have to put this on the back burner right now because this isn't what people need to be focusing on. And like, obviously we should still be focusing on it.
Yeah.
But I think that our attention was elsewhere for a while because of that.
I mean, there were a lot of changes to happen this year, and it did kind of like make us like think and readjust and reassess our position in this community
And
as
our responsibility.
As responsibly as we can. And so yeah, that was a pivot, I think, but a necessary one.
Definitely. Yeah.
And then you guys got the programs you have on your website, the what was it, the quarantine tunes from the quarantine?
Quarantine. That was a very early on quarantine move for us, where, you know, we're still trying to figure out how to live in this world, and so we just kind of we wanted to give people something new to watch or listen to, but we also wanted to kind of like, you know, give some of the artists a little assignment, like send us a video of something that you came up with in quarantine, show us what you're working on, and like we'll feature it on the website. So,
kind of doing your part to keep them motivated, right?
Yeah, you know, sometimes people just need to be like given a goal.
Yeah, absolutely. No, that's cool. So obviously you guys are very, very successful ladies, having your own zine and everything. Do you guys have any routines that you do every day to keep you on track and focused, getting to your goals?
I'm a routine lady. I like fall apart if I don't have my routine, and I have tried sleeping in, and it doesn't work for me. And so I like wake up every morning at 7:45, do yoga at 9, school work for a couple hours, work on the zine. If it's a running day, I'll go for a run, and then I have my meditation bath time, and then Paige and I convene somewhere at the kitchen where we continue.
Yeah, we love cooking. That's been kind of a routine more than anything, because like I worked in the service industry, so I would eat all my meals during a shift or something, and it was kind of a bummer because I've always loved cooking. But now you're home all the time, you have to make all the food that you consume. So
like Paige makes I also, part of my routine is I basically eat the same thing every day. It doesn't really bug me, but Paige cooks and she bakes, and sometimes I benefit from it. Well, like a lot of the time I benefit from it. And then after we work on zine stuff, we meet at this bed in Paige's room and we watch Ink Master and draw on our iPads.
Ink Master is our favorite reality TV show.
With He was on his cat bed, but he's
Oh. We don't get to see the meow. That's okay. That's okay. We'll find a way to get him in here somehow.
good. Yeah. He deserves that spotlight. You know.
Aw.
To the people.
Hi.
Don't you want to be in an interview?
He's like, I'm not camera ready, Mom.
Hey Cooper, I want to know, what's it like being CEO of Cherry-Veen Zine?
Wow.
He's like, it means I get to take vacation whenever I want. These girls can take it from here.
He's like, being CEO means I don't have to do interviews. I'll see you later.
Fact.
Don't get to do interviews.
Yeah.
Oh.
No, but so the end of your day, and that kind of like says, okay, we made it through the day. We're done. Ink Masters. This is it. Done.
Yeah, I think that's a huge sense of relief to call it a day at some point during the day and say, hey, I've been productive enough. Pat yourself on the back, and then relax.
Well, it's funny too, because like we live together and we work on the zine together, so we're kind of always talking about it. It doesn't really turn off for us, but like Ink Master, we're like, all right, we're done now.
And I think a lot of creatives or just like people who work from home will understand this, but if like we don't go into an office to do CVZ, so there's no hard boundaries to when we are working and when we're not. So to kind of create them for ourselves is really good for our routine, because otherwise we'd just be like constantly working, because there's no really shut off point.
We did that at the beginning of quarantine, and it almost burned us out.
Yeah.
We were working on it too much.
We're like, oh, we have all this time, we should be working. But then eventually we were like, no. It's cool to like work now and then not work now.
Yeah. It's hard to set those boundaries. A lot of people are working from home, us included, and it is difficult because you might have, depending on the size of where you live, I mean, you might not have the space to go from room to room, or, set an actual, like, this is the office, I have a couple friends who their office was like, one of their offices was the couch and the other one was the desk behind them. Like, that was their different offices and that was their living room. I'm like,
we're sitting at Paige's office right now.
There you go. That's a reality for a lot of people. So that's a really, really good piece of advice for everybody.
Yeah.
Just shut it off.
And it's super hard when your workspace is your living space. It's hard, but
and like this isn't hard, but like you love what you do. So when you love what you do, it's kind of hard to say like, okay, I'm not going to work on this anymore.
Right, like, and okay, that's enough, because there's always like something else that we want to do. But yeah, burnout's real. So don't do that.
Don't do that.
Nah, it is hard. But it's good, mentally speaking, to just shut off, and that way you recharge and you don't, like you said, burn yourself out. So it's a great tip. Is there any advice you would have given your younger selves, knowing what you know now, to make your life a little bit easier or get to your goals faster?
Yeah, I actually have two things. I know, we're surprised. One is just like to be patient and really think about what I want out of life, or what I'm trying to accomplish, and are the opportunities that are coming to me being forced by me, or are they actually like worth pursuing, or are they going to like take me off of my path for too long, that's going to take me a while to come back. Whereas if I had just been patient, I could have just waited a little bit longer and continued on to the right opportunity. And then the second thing is that other women are not your competition. Like, don't be so like fearful. I guess fearful is not the right word, but
defensive.
Just like trying to like, they're not out to get me. Other women aren't out to get me. I'm not out to get other women. Like, we can all work together and lift each other up. and then we can all get where we want to go faster.
Yes.
Got it.
Yeah. I think I love that one about the women too, because I think when there are so few women in this scene, like there is that inherent competition, and it doesn't have to exist. It just doesn't. I think what I would tell my younger self is to just be yourself. And just like be present and enjoy where you are, because I think my social anxiety tells me that, you know, to worry about things, and the people in this community have shown us like time and time again that they're just beautiful, fun-loving, talented people who genuinely care about each other. And this isn't like a fake friendly town. This isn't just like a town that, you know, schmoozes for no reason. It's just people are friendly and caring, and it's like, wow, really? But yeah. So I would tell my younger self to just relax and have fun and enjoy yourself, and especially now that shows aren't happening anymore, I'd tell younger Paige to shut up and listen more at shows sometimes.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
Yeah, I probably would have told younger Kristen, like, you don't have to leave this show early to go to bed so that you can be bright and chipper for the job you hate tomorrow. Like, why don't you just stay out and hang out with your friends in the community that you love, in the industry that you care about, and just stay out an hour later instead of that. Like, I could be tired at my desk at work tomorrow. I don't like this job. I don't know if that's good advice.
You know, we'll let people take it for what they will. Your advice to your past self, right?
My past self, yeah.
That's her past self.
You don't like it there.
Oh, I love it. If it works for you, if it works for you. So, all right. So you guys, could you round up all of your social media handles for everybody? Where can they find you, and what do they need to be looking for?
We can do this.
So
there we go.
our biggest presence is on Instagram.
Okay.
We're at Cherry-Veen Zine on Instagram, and then it's the same. You type in your computer. We're www.cherryveenzine.com.
Actually, I don't think you need the www.
Yeah, I know. I was just being
I don't
fancy.
think you do. She just wanted to say it. Go ahead.
I did. I wanted to draw it out.
My anxiety brain is like, oh, you only set up the website to be cherryveenzine.com. What if we send people like www. I don't know how the internet works.
Just Google Cherry-Veen Zine.
I'm pretty sure if you just type in the URL or just in Google, I think it works that way, right?
Yeah. And then we have a Spotify account, which we're particularly proud of, because the playlists are phenomenal, and if you subscribe to them, they update automatically, and so we're always bringing you new music from the artists that we love in like the Philadelphia area and Delaware, Maryland, whatever, every Zodiac season, and it has nothing to really do with the Zodiac.
It does if you read too much into it.
Read too much into it, and then it really does. You can find what you're looking for. And that is Cherry hyphen
Cherry-Veen. I think it's on the back of my phone. Here.
The thing is,
it looks like that.
Snapshot. Cherry-Veen Zine with the dashes in between.
Oh, that's good.
Cherry-Veen Zine with the dashes in between.
And we do have a Facebook that we are actually active on now, which
Okay.
is good. That's where you can find our unprecedented sessions. Like they'll always stream from there, and that's just Cherry-Veen Zine, with dashes in between.
Yeah,
I like that.
Yeah, you heard it here first.
Yeah, Google us and see. I mean, like, I'd be interested to know.
Yeah, we're on other people's blogs sometimes.
Yeah, I
too.
think like our stuff with the key comes up a lot. Yeah,
Mhm.
that's how we find out we're on the key. We Google ourselves.
Everybody does. Everybody does. And you guys mentioned earlier for the artists and bands that want to work with you to use that form on your website, right?
Yes.
That would be lovely.
It is under contact.
We will
I believe.
love you more than other emails we receive if you use the form.
Yeah. We will. Every time somebody uses
Just
the form, we
immediately.
do say that. We mention that to each other. We're like, oh my god, and they use the submission
Good
form.
for them. They're so nice.
I love
What
it.
can we
That's
do for
good.
them?
Yeah, how can we help them?
Aw, see, that's how you get on the good sides, people. Take notes. Take notes.
Yeah.
No, we'll try and get all the social media handles and everything in the description as well. Or you could just, pause and replay 5 times if you want to. That works.
And
You could
did
do
we
that.
say the YouTube? Did we say the YouTube
Hmm,
channel? We
I
have
don't
a
know.
YouTube channel also, but all the videos that we have up there should also be on our website. But it's again, just look for CherryVeen Zine on YouTube.
I'm sure you'll find them.
The good thing about having this name is that no one else does.
Yeah.
So we're pretty easy to find.
No, that's a really unique name. I don't think you could ever forget that actually. And
Not
it's
past the bar test. There's
CherryVeen Zine with the dashes in between.
Yeah.
Correct.
We found out there's this thing called the bar test that band names need to pass, where if you can yell it to someone at a bar and they can hear you, it's passed the test. And we don't pass that test ever,
Not.
but we have business cards, so it doesn't matter.
That makes it official. That makes it
I'm just like, see busy. At the bar.
Oh man, we're getting tired.
Yeah.
Wait, okay, so I think that's actually it. That was the last question, was the social media handles. We are good. Thank you guys so much for being a part of this and answering all our questions. Appreciate it.
Thank
Of
you.
course, thank you so much.
This was great.
Absolutely. All righty. So I also want to thank everybody who is watching. If you like what you saw, give us a thumbs up, smash the bell, subscribe wherever it is. Comment below if you didn't get your question answered, if you have more questions, if you have any ideas for future interviewees that we might talk to, if you want any topics covered, just let us know. We want to hear from you. Otherwise, yeah, that's it. Thank you again, and we'll see you guys next time with the interviews. Bye.